No, your $500 Athlon is not just as good. Hey guys, thanks for watching Precision Rifle Network. I am Joel. Today, the Leupold Mark V HD. Alright guys, this review has been a long time coming. I have had the Leupold Mark V, the 5-25 version, for a little over a year now. And I really like it. I'm going to tell you all about it today. I'm going to give you the kind of the specs and the rundown. We're going to look at some stuff on the web page, which I'll have up here on the screen. Of course, I will zoom in for you guys so you can see that. There are quite a few features, glass quality, coatings, etc., that make this optic considerably better than anything in the sub $1,000 range. It should be obvious, right? You spend more money on a thing, it's gonna be nicer quality. The whole just as good silliness, it just needs to stop, okay? It's universal for the most part. I realize there are a few exceptions, but the more money you spend, the nicer piece of kit you get. That's all there is to it, guys. I'm not gonna talk any more about that. Let's get into the scope. So I'm going to go down here on the website and we're just going to look at some of the product features, okay? So, Punisher tested. Each scope designed has to survive 5,000 impacts on the Punisher, Leupold's recoil simulation machine. The force of each impact is 3 times the recoil of a .308 rifle. If the scope doesn't perform in any way during the tests, we make adjustments to the design and test again. It's got the fast focus eyepiece, which brings the reticle into focus quickly. Scratch resistant lenses, extreme military standard scratch resistance for added protection. Ultra lightweight design, it disperses recoil energy for unrivaled durability and performance with ultra lightweight construction. Lifetime guarantee, backed by warranty obviously. Side focus parallax adjustment for fast, easy parallax focusing any shooting position. It is a front focal plane scope. 35mm main tube allows you to experience unparalleled windage and elevation adjustment travel. 10th mil click adjustments. Here's where some of the coatings come in. The Twilight Max HD. See more in less light with Twilight Max. Adds up to 30 extra minutes of shooting light. Eliminates 90% more glare from stray light than competitors. Premium high definition edge-to-edge lens clarity. It's about the coatings, guys, not necessarily the glass. Comes with built-in throw lever, 5:1 zoom ratio, 0 locking adjustments, illumination control. And the MSRP on the standard Leupold Mark V HD 5-25 is $2,599. Now you've got different reticle options, of course. Things from the, let's take a look here. We've got the tactical milling reticle, which is your standard kind of mill dot reticle. You've got their CCH, which is their like core competition hunting reticle. You've got the H59, and of course the price starts to go up once you change into the nicer reticle designs, the Christmas tree style designs. CCH is up to $28.59. The H59, which is what I have, is $29.89 MSRP. You can find these for, you know, $300–400 less than the MSRP typically. Also comes in the 3.6 to 18, and that package is quite a bit shorter and lighter yet, so you know it's great to put on top of an AR or a DMR type gun, that sort of thing. You've been seeing images and little video clips of the 3.6 to 18 throughout this video so far. Guys, what I really like, I'm just going to kind of give you from personal experience, because you can go on their website and look at all the specifications and the stats on it. What it comes down to is you're standing around with a group of your buddies, and based on what your buddy says, you're going to buy it or you're not. That's kind of how a lot of our decisions are made, really. It's from personal experience with people we know and trust. You know, I would hope that you guys are beginning to trust me after all these years of doing videos for you. Maybe not. I mean, you still don't know me all that well. Maybe I should grab the camera and go inside and introduce you to my family and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like I'm giving you a pretty good, honest review every time I get behind this silly camera. So for me, the Leupold Mark V, there's a couple of reasons that I really love it. Number one is how it looks when I look through it. It is by far the brightest, clearest optic in this price range that I have seen, and it trumps anything in the $2,500 price range on down. Obviously the lower priced optics. Now, you know, there is a bit of a difference in crispness and contrast and low light quality and all those kinds of things when you spend more money. We're not talking about that. We're not even talking about the lower money, but I have to compare it against something, right? I can't compare it to the ones above it because it's not quite there, but I can definitely say it is better by far, in my opinion, than anything that costs less money than it, for a number of reasons. To me, number one is the glass clarity and brightness. You just get behind it and you can see the difference. Everything is brighter and clearer. The contrast is there when you start, you know, getting all the way up to the top of the magnification range, of course, like 25 power, and you're looking at something at really long range. Any scope is gonna, you know, start to kind of downgrade. The Leupold is no different than that. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a given, you know. It still performs really, really well. Now, one thing that I have never tested really is low light. I just don't shoot in low light conditions with my optics. I don't shoot at night. I don't hunt with this scope. So I haven't really ever been able to test that for you. But I really can tell you with confidence, it's bright, it's clear, it's better than anything else in the price range that I've seen. Another thing that I really like is the tactile, audible clicks of the turrets. They're firm, sharp clicks. It's loud. I can hear it even with hearing protection on. To me, I like that. There's just no question whether or not I actually turned it up 1, 2, 3, 10 clicks, whatever it might be. Obviously, I'm looking at the numbers if I'm going very far. But as far as the clicks are concerned, hopefully you should be able to hear this. And right back down to the zero stop. And the zero stop is great. There's a large, oversized button. Basically, if you're grabbing onto the turret, you're depressing the button. I like that. It's no tiny little button. It's not like a fine motor skill kind of a thing that's going to degrade under stress. It's a gross motor. All you have to do is grab the top of the scope, that button depresses, you can unlock and turn your turret. I really like that. I really like that it's got a covered windage turret. Most people that are using these modern scopes with holdover reticles are holding over for wind. We're not dialing for wind, so there's no need to have that be an open turret that's going to get smacked up against the side of a barricade and turned or something. Let's cover it. I like that. That's great. I like the eyepiece on the rear. It's easy to adjust. The 35 millimeter main tube was a little bit of a challenge when they first came out because no rings were made for these. Now I went with the ARC split rings. They're vertically split. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but there's a hinge on each side. They're really pretty cool. Some guys don't like them. They feel like they put undue pressure on the scope. It isn't the case. If you actually went and did some research on these rings, I think they're some of the nicest rings on the market. They actually are designed to not put any pressure on the scope in any way. It's a pretty deal. I mean, I can't say it doesn't put pressure. Obviously, it clamps down onto the optic, but it doesn't put pressure in one specific spot on the scope that might tend to damage it. You know, whereas some of the rings that are split from the top down will potentially compress the scope body if a guy happens to over tighten it. These are not the case. They actually close in from the sides, kind of like a spur mount. Guys, it's just a really, really good optic. It tracked perfectly in my test. Now I only tracked it out to 1,000 yards, but in my tests it tracked from 100 yards out to 1,000 and back with no issues. I literally have had not a single problem with it to speak of. Nothing in the year and a half that I've ran it, and I have not been gentle. Leupold optics, especially the higher end ones, You know, they are made to military standards, whatever that means. They say it on their website. I'm regurgitating it. I've never been in the military. I don't know. But what that means to me in layman's terms is that it's a tough optic. And I have not been gentle with it. It's been on my competition gun. This is a tool to me, right? I don't baby this thing. I never have. I never will. I'm going to use it. I'm going to get the use out of it, and then I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to buy something new. That's just the way it works for me. And I have not beat it up, but I definitely have not been gentle. And it is held tracking. The glass still looks great. The anti-scratch coatings they put on the lenses are still perfect after a year and a half. And I don't run covers on my lenses. Don't care, get them dirty, whatever, wipe them off, good to go. Guys, thanks for watching today. Hopefully a little bit of information, the personal experience with the Leupold is enough for you. Again, it is really hard to get into all of the nitty-gritty details of the internals of a scope when I don't really have any source of information to get that for you, number one. I also have no way of really testing light transmission or showing you on camera the difference between edge-to-edge clarity or crispness and clearness, because when I try to use a camera back through here, I'm adding a whole nother set of mirrors and lenses, and it just degrades the overall picture. That's the problem with scopes. You really have to get behind them and look, or just take the advice of a buddy. I'm your buddy in this sense. Take my advice. The Leupold Mark V is good to go, and I think you would be hard-pressed to find another optic in the price range that can beat it. Thanks guys for watching. Tune in again soon for another great video from Precision Rifle Network.